Good morning, and good morning. Are you guys ready for another Lone Angler podcast? I know I am. It has been a while. I might sound a little bit weird. We're going to find out here in a little bit myself, but I'll get into why here in a little bit. But first, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the sponsors of the Lone Angler podcast. First off the deck here, we have Panfish Pursuers P3 Plastics. They just changed their Facebook name to P3 Plastics. Might have to do that too. I haven't got the memo yet. But anyway, man, they've been a long-time supporter of what I do here at the Lone Angler, and I appreciate that. And I would like to help you guys out as well. I have a little code for you. SPUG15 will get you 15% off your total order. All the plastics, carbonite boards, the Catch carbonite boards, Groove micro jig boxes, Schoolie reel handle knobs, whatever they have. You put it all in the cart, use the code SPUG15, get yourself 15% off. Man, those guys are just crushing down at the St. Paul Ice Show, and it doesn't surprise me. They got some of the best shapes in the game, nice soft plastic, lots of action, and the colors. I could go on for days on the color options. Those boys are always cooking up some new color recipe. It's pretty cool. Thank you to Della Bay Rods for jumping on board and supporting the Lone Angler. My two rods, the Parento Pup and the Pan Sizzler, are probably at my work. They're probably here. And I'm really excited about it, man. These guys are just, they have a passion for rod building, built right here in Minnesota. Good group of dudes, and one lady in the house too. So, and I have a little code to help you out too. If you head on over to dellabay.com, pick out a brand new ice fishing rod. They also make open water rods too, which I'm really excited to get my hands on one of those, especially a fly rod. Yeah, that's on my list. I'm going to talk to those boys heavily about a fly rod here soon. But get over there, get your ice rod in there, in that cart, and use the code LAPFREE, all caps, LAPFREE, and you can get free shipping on your order. Doesn't matter. 1 rod, 4 rods, 9 rods, doesn't matter. Free shipping. Okay? LAPFREE. That's the code there at dellabay.com. Could definitely go check those guys out. They were also at the St. Paul show. I'll tell you what, man. Popular rods. Next up and last but not least, Ridgetop Outdoors. Thank you for supporting me and the Lone Angler here. We really appreciate it. You guys are just a local mom and pop shop, brand new to the Bemidji area, just south of town. They're right before the overpass that goes over Highway 2 on 71 South. You can't miss them. They're right next to the gas station, ample parking, and then inside, Justin's got everything you're going to need. If you're coming up here to fish Upper Red Lake or Lake of the Woods or around the Bemidji area, you're a fisherman, you forgot something, that's the place to stop before you have to head right into the belly of the beast known as Bemidji. So definitely stop in at Ridgetop Outdoors. And like them on Facebook. Facebook is a great place to keep up with all the updates there that they have, what the happenings are at the store. So thank you all for supporting the Lone Angler. I really appreciate it. I think we're going to get into this episode right now.
Me when I go literally anywhere.
I'd like to talk a bit about Kanye West.
Hey, all right, here we go. I'm going to take my third sip of coffee here in probably, a week and a half. And it's hot. I got a new custom mug. I'll throw a picture of it up on my social media. Yeah, it's a custom Dunkin' Donuts mug made by my good buddy here in town, Eric Cooper. Blue Ox Signs or Blue Ox Designs. Pretty cool stuff, man. He threw it up on the old FB, and I was like, I gotta have it. I'm a huge Dunkin' fan. Sorry, Dale. I know you say it's shit coffee, but you know what? I think you're on your own with that one because there's a million other people that think it's really good, and I'm one of those million people. I'm not gonna stray away from it, man. I'm not gonna turn my nose up at some of this, handmade gourmet stuff that Dale seems to think is the best. I'll definitely try some of that too, but yeah, no, having a little coffee And it has been a while since I've done this. And for good reason, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell my story right now. So the night of November 27th, I had just finished up at Reed's, their Black Friday weekend. I was there for Vexlar. Great weekend. We sold quite a few units. A lot of people out there just kicking, there's some tire kicking going on too, understandably. But all in all, a super enthusiastic crowd. Everybody's anxious to get out there and go ice fishing and buying Christmas presents and all that good stuff. Well, I left Reed's at about 3:30-ish or so. And it takes about 45 minutes or so to get from Walker to Bemidji. So I get home, and I'm just kind of chilling out, relaxing. I'd been on my feet all day and talking fishing and that kind of stuff. Just needed to kind of decompress. And as the night went on, I started getting a little bit more and more chilled. And I just thought, whatever. I'm just kind of tired. Maybe I'm exhausted. I don't eat lunch when I'm down there or anything. I pound 2 or 3 energy drinks. I thought maybe just something didn't agree with me, And this started at around 6:30-ish at night, 6:45. By 8:30, full on, I had the, what do you call them, like sleeper pants on, the pajama pants on. Sweats over on top of those, wool socks on, a couple of t-shirts, and a big old thick hoodie. And I was just completely shivering to death and sweating at the same time. So I knew something was up, and I thought, well, maybe I catch a bug. I've had this happen years ago, and I'm usually pretty good at kicking a fever like overnight. Not a problem, right? So like I said, feeling like shit, so climb into the bed, and I had a very, very intense evening of wicked fever. I woke up at one point, took my temperature, and it said like 103.2. I was like, holy shit, okay, going back to bed, and I'll check it right away in the morning. I get up the next morning, and my hair feels kind of damp. I'm like, okay, I think my fever may have broke sometime in the night. I was still feeling a little woozy and shit, and I went to go check my temperature again. The battery was dead, and it takes one of them little flat batteries. So I take a picture of it because I'm too lazy to write it down, and not feeling all that great. Climb in the car. Got my mask, and I head up to Target. And because I have my mask because I'm not feeling good. And when this whole pandemic thing started, the whole mask thing, I know it's a fucking stupid debate, whatever. You can be on whatever side of the fence you want to be on. I don't give a shit. But I said to myself, that's all. I care about myself. I'm just going to throw this on because I don't want to get anybody else sick, okay? I don't know what I have. And I'm looking all over hell for this battery. I can't find it. I said, fuck it. I'll just buy a new thermometer. Buy a new thermometer and a few other little things. Bam, back home. That whole thing takes place maybe, I don't know. I'm back home in like 40 minutes, man. It's super quick, right? And I get home and I set up this new thermometer. It's Bluetooth and all this other shit. It's pretty cool, actually. And I start monitoring my temperature throughout the day. And I have a low-grade fever. Now, this is Sunday, the 28th, okay? And I'm, I've got little chills on and off and stuff, and I keep monitoring my temperature, and I'm jumping anywhere from 100 to 101. It's kind of going up and down throughout the day, and I'm doing this like every hour. And I'm like, all right, maybe I ate something funky, all right? So kind of just laying low all day Sunday, just kind of chill. I was supposed to be at Reed's. I called them right away in the morning before I even went to Target and said, yo, not feeling good, staying home. Or I got a hold of the right people. It's getting kind of late in the day now. I'm super tired, just super run down, and my nose is really starting to get tight, that nasal congestion. Been blowing my nose a few times throughout the day. So I lay down at Sunday night, and within 30 minutes, I could feel my temperature starting to rise. So I reach over and I start monitoring my temperature. And yeah, we're climbing from that 100 and a half. We're bumping up into 102 and a half now. So now we're on night number 2 with a high fever. And sometime, I'm waking up. My fever is actually waking me up throughout the night. And at one point I had 103.7. This is Sunday night. And I was like, man, this is not good. Something doesn't feel right. And by this time now, I'm starting to get a kind of a bloody nose. My nose is also constantly snotting up. Sorry if this is so super gross, but it's just part of life, all right? So I kind of do some half-ass sleeping and shit, whatever. Wake up in the morning, like 7 in the morning, and as I made a Facebook post of some kind. I can't remember exactly what it was, but my cousin, who works in the medical field, she reached out to me and said, hey, what do you got going on? And so I described what I've got going on, and she said, hey, I know you're vaccinated and stuff because we're family. And she said, you might want to go get tested. And I said, Sarah, I think I'm leaning that way. I really am. Something doesn't feel right. And I think she said something to the effect like, hey, if it doesn't feel right, just go. And so that's what I did. I called up the COVID hotline here in Bemidji and talked to a nurse there, described everything that was going on. She said, get your butt here. So I went down, went through the drive-through test deal, and then I had to wait 24 to 48 hours to get my test back. And got back here, just still feeling like crap. Got a little bit of a cough, but most of my issues are in my nose and eyes. And the fever now is starting to kind of stick around that 101 and a half. Pretty consistent throughout the day and not just like laying down. Energy's at an all-time low. So I sit around and just kind of wait around. So that was Monday the 29th. Yeah, everything's cool. I kind of go to bed. No test results. Sometimes they come back really fast. Sometimes it does take 48 hours. In the meantime, I've made contact with people I've been around and whatnot, and explained everything that's going on and said, hey, when I get my results back, I'll let you know what it is. Wednesday shows up. Actually, Tuesday. Now we're into Tuesday. That'd be November 30th. I've got my timeline kind of written down here, so I'm going to prop this up just a little bit on the old iPad. There we go. Hey, try not to lean over it. You could see it, right? Anyway, Tuesday, November 30th, my test results come in, and I'm COVID positive. And I say to myself, wow, what do I do now? The clinic immediately calls me. I saw my test results through the Sanford app. And within like 30 minutes of me reading that, they called me up and said, hey, you're COVID positive. We need you to stay home. I was like, well, yeah, absolutely. Drink lots of fluids. If you need medical attention, just call ahead of time. That kind of deal. And the one thing they said to me, and it kind of hit me, and it kind of spooked me out a little bit, was, hey, if you live with anybody or anything, isolate yourself to one room. And I was like, yeah, no, that won't be a problem. I live by myself. Well, that's when the wheels kind of start turning. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm up during the day. I can monitor things. I can keep checking my temperature and all that kind of stuff. Well, some buddies of mine, Mr. Aaron Tamplin, old Tampy, he was aware of the situation as well because he'd been calling all Monday and stuff, asking about my results. I told him I was positive, And he said, all right, I'm going to have either me or Crafty are going to swing by and we're going to drop off an oximeter for you. And I was like, for what? And they said, for monitoring your oxygen. I said, oh, okay, sure. What do I owe you? Don't worry about it. It's like, okay. And I get a text from Crafty. And this is Tuesday afternoon. Hey, man, I'm downstairs. So I go down the steps from my apartment. We don't open the door or anything. He just shows me the box, sets it down there. He leaves, and I open the door, and just as he's getting to his truck, I kind of growl like a goblin. He laughs, I laugh. Everybody's having a good time. That's how I kind of deal with this shit. So I bring this thing up. I set it up. It's just a little deal that clips on your finger. That's it. Super simple. So I'm monitoring my oxygen throughout the day, and the day now turns into night. And this is when I start getting a little bit nervous because I do live by myself. And that's when I stopped monitoring things. So I was a little hesitant to go to sleep at night because I didn't know if I was going to, my oxygen was going to drop and if I was going to notice that and wake up. And I'm not trying to scare anybody or anything. I'm just telling you my experience, okay? This is what goes on in my weird brain, okay? Make it through the night. I make it through the night. And I woke up the next morning and I was just kind of overcome with thankfulness. Thankful for good friends like Crafty and Temp and Mr. Paul Thorne, for really looking out for me. Those guys really care, and that is a super great feeling. And I appreciate that. I never once was annoyed by all the text messages and phone calls. I really appreciated it. So, yeah, Wednesday morning, December 1st, the clinic calls me back up. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, shit, what could this be now? What could this be? They call me up and they say, hey, since you're COVID positive, are you interested in this antibody? I cannot pronounce the rest of it. Monocultural, whatever. I just call it antibody infusion. And I immediately say, yeah, let's do this thing. I have heard about this thing before, this infusion, and they say within 24 hours you start feeling a lot better. It kind of alleviates the symptoms of COVID. I'm like, yeah, man, sure, let's do it. I'm pretty open to that. That's fine. Let's go. And it was a chance for me to get out of the house. So I roll up to the Joe Lucan Cancer Treatment Center on the Sanford campus here in Bemidji. And I did something dumb. I made a little post, hey, I'm checking in here. And I didn't realize, I've been kind of vague about my positive COVID, what would you call it? Positive COVID test or whatever. And I didn't think nothing of it till several hours later. But anyway, I pull up to this sign, follow the instructions. I call this number, tell them, what parking space number I'm in. And the nurse comes out, in the full garb and stuff, and takes me in. And we go down into this basement area, and they've got this deal set up. It's a bunch of IVs, nice comfortable chairs, and all that kind of stuff. My other cousin, who is a sister to the one that called me to say, hey, you should probably go get tested. Yeah, it was her sister, is an RN there. And she's like, do you mind? I was like, no, I'm way comfortable with you putting an IV in me. And so we get to talking, Jeanette and I, and I was like, this is kind of surreal. Doesn't seem that long ago that when we were kids, we were running around jumping on hay bales and chasing snakes and all kinds of shit. And here you are putting an IV in me. And she kind of laughed and she said, well, Yeah, that's just life, you know? So anyway, as I was sitting there, I did bring some my iPad to draw with, but I didn't draw. I just sat there and I thought about things. And I thought about the building that I was in. And I was looking around and this place was packed with people, all getting this IV. So we're all COVID positive. I'm probably the youngest one there. And I noticed the chairs that we're sitting in are much like the chairs, they're probably the same chairs that you would receive chemotherapy in. And that hit me pretty hard. And I started taking a long, hard look at myself. And that's where I've made the decision that I need to quit fucking around and going on these like healthy spurts of living for like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. And then, you know, I find myself, you know, with a fucking fist full of breakfast sandwich from the gas station and washing it down with a Rockstar or a Monster. It happens. It happens, and it can't happen anymore. I'm almost 50 years old, man. Next month, I'll be 48 years old. And I'm still living like I'm 22. And it's time for me to grow up. That's what I said to myself. And this was, you know, I knew I wasn't there getting treatment for cancer. Thank God. But it was enough of a close reality that I want to be in. And that's what happened. You know, I was sitting there and I was really kind of pissed off after when I left. Not that I got COVID or anything like that. I was kind of pissed off at myself for just half-assing my life, you know, for the last 10 years or more. And that's not fair to myself. It's not fair to my friends. It's not fair to my family. It's not fair to my daughter. I need to be around, man. And I drove home pissed off and said, you know what? This is it. This is it. This is a good time to start this shit right now. You can't go anywhere. You can't be like, screw it. I'll just get a Pepsi. You know, it'll be fine. I can't go anywhere. So it's a prime opportunity for me to get this bullshit out of my system, for lack of a better term. And that was on Wednesday. Let's cruise on into December 2nd on Thursday. With the recent mindset of, hey man, it's time to like grow up and eat like a human adult and not a fucking teenage raccoon, quit being lazy and all that kind of shit. I opened the fridge to see what I got to work with, you know, in this new idea. Well, not new idea, but this new lifestyle. And there ain't jack shit in my fridge, man. Nothing. Zip. Crafty earlier in the week had said, man, if you need anything, just holler at me, let me know. I did mention that, hey, I might have to do a Target deal where they bring the shit out to you. And he's like, yeah, cool, man, just set it up and we'll do that thing. So that's what I did on Thursday. And he said, man, you got to do it Thursday or you're going to have to find somebody else to do it for you because he is heading to the St. Paul show at like 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So I sat and I went through and I got myself some good stuff to get going on this new lifestyle change. And hey, everything went smooth. I bought this shit. They brought it out to Crafty's truck. Bam. Crafty brings it here, drops it off. His hand on the glass, my hand on the other side of the glass. We're bro-fiving. Love that dude. That was awesome. If you follow me on social media, you saw the picture. I can't thank you enough. And I'm going to have to do it again soon. But But yeah, so that was pretty much Thursday. And Thursday, I was starting to feel a lot better. It was kind of weird because Thursday, Friday, and even up to today, which is Sunday, lots of energy. I have lots of energy, but I start doing things, I tire out pretty quick. So that's been kind of a weird dynamic. I don't really know how to deal with it. I want to get up and do a bunch of shit, and I start doing a bunch of shit, and then within 20 minutes, I'm like, woo, sweating to beat hell, and I just kind of pooped, just kind of tired, and I got to sit and chill for a little bit. When I was tested, or when I got my positive deal too, quite a few people reached out to me. Hey man, rest, take it easy. Also get up, move around. You don't want to develop pneumonia and stuff like that. So it was kind of a weird deal, but I was able to manage. As of today, right now, today is Sunday. Not much else went down. Saturday, yesterday was kind of, I did a bunch of shit. So we're good. And today is Sunday, and I still have today, Monday, Tuesday, and I can release myself back out into the wild on Wednesday. And I believe that's the 8th of December. So yeah, we're still hitting good, but I wanted to take an opportunity right now to thank everybody for all the messages, the text messages, just reaching out to see if I'm okay, and to apologize if I scared anybody for my check-in at the Joe Lucan Cancer Center. I do not have cancer. That's just where they were giving this infusion at. So I apologize for scaring everybody off. I've been kind of vague about it. At the same time, I've been a little bit in the comments on some posts. You'll see, I know where I've commented back on some things and whatnot, but for the most part, just kind of laying chill. Except for right now, I'm just gonna flat out say it that I'm so thankful that I made the decision to get vaccinated for myself back in April, because I honestly believe that I would be in far worse shape because I am a pile of garbage when it comes to health. I'm severely overweight. I do not take care of myself very well like that. I don't eat the right foods. That's changing. I don't get enough rest. I drink massive amounts of caffeine. Yeah. So I really honestly think that having that vaccine, for me anyway, helped keep me out of the hospital and in far worse shape than I was in. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you my experience. That's all. That's 100% it. Okay. And how I feel about things. So everybody, you can have your own opinion on everything, and my opinion doesn't matter just as much as yours doesn't matter to me. I just wanted to come on and tell my story because I have this platform and I've been missing for like a week. Yeah. Here's to better health. I mean, I don't have much more to say than that about what I've been experiencing for the better part of, 7 days or 7 or 8 days now. It's been an eye opener. I've learned from it, and, going forward, it's a real thing. It did its job. The vaccine for me did its job. It's not a cure. It kept me out of the hospital. Straight up. I don't even have to believe that. That's what the science is. It's not a cure. This is going to help you. That's all. It's just going to help you. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. So I'm thankful for that. And I'm kind of a silver linings type person also. If I was to get this thing, now was the right time to get it instead of while Ellen was here. She's here for 10 days. She's coming on the 21st of December. That could have been an unholy fucking nightmare. because she flies as an unattended minor, unaccompanied minor. So that means we do the chaperone program. That means me and me alone is the only person that can bring Ellen to the airport or pick her up from the airport. Same thing with her mom on the other end. She's the only one that can pick her up. That's the way it's set up. And if she was here and I was quarantined with this, Ellen would have to be quarantined. Plane tickets would have to be changed. Or I'd have been making phone calls to the airline and all kinds of stuff. So I guess I'm thankful that it happened now. I wish it wouldn't have happened at all, but now was the right time. And yeah, so that's my story. That's where I've been. And that's why I probably sound a little bit weird right now. I never really had much of a sore throat or anything. I can still taste and smell. Never lost that. Funny story. Every morning waking up with this thing, first thing I do is I'd stumble out of the bedroom, walk across the apartment into the bathroom. First thing I do, I wouldn't take a piss. I grab a thing of mouthwash and rinse. Because if you can't taste that shit, then you know you've lost everything. And I was able to taste that stuff. So, yeah. With that being said, I'm going to move on to the St. Paul Ice Fishing Show. Yeah, didn't go, obviously. I really didn't have any intentions of going in the first place. I had quite a few people reach out. Hey, you're going to be at the St. Paul Ice Show. I can't wait to meet you, or can't wait to see you and catch up and this and that and whatnot and so forth. I said, no, I'm not going to go this year. I'm going to take a year off. I needed a break. I've been going to the St. Paul Ice Show for the last, I would say at least 12, if not 13, maybe 14 years. Just kind of need a break. That was number one reason why I wasn't going to go anyway. Number two, I really don't need anything as far as gear goes. I've got everything I need. I've got piles of ice fishing rods and piles of jigs, and I got 2 FLX 28s, for God's sake. Well, that actually comes in pretty handy. Yeah, I've got all the trinkets that I need. There's nothing really new. I've got a couple of fish houses. There's nothing really new. And the little bit of stuff that I did get, but not at the St. Paul show, like one item I ordered from Reed's, and that's that new Jiffy Scout ice auger. It's a 2.5-inch auger. It's got a ruler on it for checking ice and stuff, which that doesn't interest me. It's just the diameter of that thing. I've always wanted a small drill for a camera hole, and that's exactly what I'm going to use it for. And I know there's another one out there. It's a yellow 3-inch one. It's Russian made. I was told you got to put your drill in back, or put your drill in reverse to drill a hole with it, which that doesn't bother me at all. But that thing was $110. This one's $40. And if I like it and it works, great. If I don't like it, I'm out $40. I could probably resell it pretty quick. Not a big deal. That was one of the newer things that I got. Basically, that's ice fishing specific. Now, I did pick up some other ice fishing tools, or tools that I'm going to use for ice fishing, but they came from the fly fishing world. And I'll post a picture of those up on my Facebook and Instagram pages there. One of them is by a fly company called C&F Design, and they're these really badass pair of nippers. They were like $27, but it's more than just a nipper. Okay, you actually, this is the part that's cool. You could it's almost like a little pocket knife. You can turn out the one end of it, and on the end of it, it has a threader. So like if you're running really small flies, and a guy like me, I'm a little bit older now. Like when I'm tying up flies, I got to throw on the cheaters, man. My nearsightedness is gone, son. So, and I have a hard time getting that fine line through these ice jigs. Well, that's what that threader does. You just slip that little wire loop through there, put your line through the wire loop, pull, and it pulls your line through the eyelet. And that is conveniently on the end of these nippers, and it folds back into the body of the nippers. Also on that same part that folds out is an eye buster, which is pretty cool. And I got that on a fish pond retractable, nice aluminum, heavy duty, retractable, retractable thing. You know, it's got the ring on it. It's got a like coated steel cable inside of it or something like that. That is one tool or two tools. And then I have another one on order, and it's a different style of hookout tool made by Loon Outdoors. It's tubular in design, and it's kind of hard to explain here. I get it, but when I get that tool, I'll put that also up on the social media. But that's one thing that I am noticing, or I'm finding, that coming into this ice fishing world and looking, or coming into the fly fishing world, just looking at various tools, and I'm tying up these ice fishing jigs now using slotted tungsten beads, all different shapes and colors. It's really fun. There's a little bit of crossover when it comes to some of the tools, and I think this stuff is going to be pretty handy out on the ice. So I'll definitely make a social media post about all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just, that's why I didn't go to the St. Paul show, hadn't planned on going anyway. And, hey, it is what it is. Maybe next year. I was already talking to the boys from, P3 Plastics, and they're having a killer show down there, as they always do. And I think if anything, if I go down there next year, I'm going to work in their booth with them, and maybe we'll do a couple of episodes of this show from their booth and grab some of you guys that visit the booth and sit down and we'll talk fishing or something. I don't know. Got a whole other year to plan for it, but yeah, so maybe next year I'll be down there at the St. Paul Ice Show. I think I'll be ready to go back down and all that good stuff. So, but anyway, I'm going to jump out of here now and get ready to record another episode. I got another one coming up later this afternoon that'll be out probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I got a guest. We're going to do a little phone call and talk some fishing, man. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here and go stare out my bedroom window at the blizzard that's happening right now up here in Bemidji on this fine Sunday. I believe it's the 5th. Let me check the old wizard box here, the old phone. All right. Yeah, it's December 5th. Oh, sorry, I got a little distracted. I got my fantasy football's going down, man. I'm just crushing my family, and I don't know shit about football. Hey, big thanks to Alex, man, at work there. He's been helping me out with my lineup. I'm going to say that on here because, I don't think my family listens to my podcast very much. But anyway, I'm going to roll out of here. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.